Musk makes a move, severing the lifeline of dark money. SpaceX personally cut off 2,500 Starlink terminals in northern Myanmar's fraud parks, instantly paralyzing the entire telecom scam empire. The U.S. indicted Chen Zhi, chairman of Cambodia's Prince Group, on charges of fraud, money laundering, and human trafficking. Several former agents revealed that Prince Group is in fact the CCP's red-white glove in Southeast Asia, with money flows running straight to Xi Jinping's family. This internet cutoff operation, launched from space tears, opened the secret linkage between the black money empire and red power. Don't miss the next drop, subscribe and hit the bell. Over the past few weeks, an invisible technology war has been unfolding in Southeast Asia. Elon Musk's SpaceX personally severed the lifeline of the telecom fraud parks. Starlink went dark, the parks collapsed, and thousands fled for their lives. This cut-off from space operation tore open a black money web spanning China, Myanmar, and Cambodia, and pulled out a familiar name, Chen Zhi. He is not only Cambodia's richest man, but also an international fugitive indicted by the United States and worth billions of dollars. And his conglomerate, Prince Group, is suspected of being the CCP's red-white glove in Southeast Asia. SpaceX internet cut off. Recently, at the KK Park of northern Myanmar's telecom fraud syndicates, scenes of thousands fleeing were exposed, staging a cut-off storm from space. This will also make Cambodia's Prince Group feel their lips grow cold when the teeth are gone. Because the latest U.S. Treasury sanctions identify Chen Zhi of Prince Group as having direct ties with KK Park's major shareholder Ian Guizhu. Who is Ian Guizhu? His nickname is Broken Tooth. KK is the pinyin initials of his name. That's no coincidence but a badge of identity. He was once the head of Macau's 14K triad, later reinventing himself as the leader of the modern Hongmen Association. The name sounds like a folk society, but U.S. officials have clearly stated the organization has direct links with the CCP's United Front Work Department. Ian Guizhu does the CCP's bidding and thus received backing from the PRC government. On December 9, 2020, the U.S. Treasury, under the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act, announced sanctions on Ian Guizhu and 3 organizations he controls, including the Cambodia-China Friendship, World Hongmen Historical and Cultural Association. The reason was suspected involvement in transnational criminal activities, including drug trafficking, illegal gambling, fraud, and human trafficking. Isn't this the same business Chen Zhi is in? In Cambodia, it is impossible that Prince Group and the Hongmen Association had no intersection. This time, the one who took action against the KK Park was not the police or hackers, but Musk's SpaceX. Some 2,500 Starlink terminals used by Myanmar's fraud parks were cut off. According to multiple media reports, SpaceX's Starlink team personally stepped in, identified and cut off more than 2,500 Starlink devices, directly paralyzing Myanmar's scam centers. Put simply, Musk personally severed the lifeline of these fraud parks. Meanwhile, authorities continued to crack down on the KK Park. Foreign journalists witnessed thousands fleeing this park situated by the Thai border. Reports said there was a mass exodus from KK Park. Online videos showed riders crowding outside the park, some were taking orders to pick people up and help them flee. U.S. indictment, Cambodia's Duke becomes a fugitive. An indictment from the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of New York thrust Chen Zhi onto global front pages. The U.S. Department of Justice and the U.K. government took synchronized action, accusing him and Prince Group of involvement in transnational telecom fraud, forced labor, human trafficking, money laundering, and bribery. At the same time, more than 120,000 bitcoins were seized, market value about $15 billion, and his London real estate worth over £100 million was frozen. The indictment states explicitly, Prince Group used political influence to evade law enforcement in multiple countries, including China's Ministry of Public Security and Ministry of State Security. Several former agents revealed, Prince Group is the CCP's black money hub in Southeast Asia. The so-called Belt and Road is in reality a black capital chain. Kikiaokio's white glove? Canadian-Chinese writer Xing Shui dropped a bombshell on X recently. She revealed that this seemingly self-made Fujian businessman actually has a powerful background. Chen Zhi is the nephew of the wife of Huang Kunming, party secretary of Guangdong. In other words, his family ties connect directly to the core circle of the Xi Jinping camp. Xing Shui further claimed, Chen Zhi's main task is to launder money for the Fujian clique and Xi Jinping's elder sister, Qi Qiaoqiao. Telecom fraud and pig butchering, romance scams were just side businesses for Chen. Qi Qiaoqiao, as everyone knows, is Xi Jinping's sister. She and her husband, Deng Jiagui, have been repeatedly named by foreign media in recent years as controlling a vast business empire. Chen Zhi is also a key node in this red wealth network. Through Prince Group's transnational structure, grey funds from the CCP elite were laundered and transferred, ultimately entering the financial systems of the UK, Singapore, and Switzerland. Xing Shui said that as a henchman favored by Qi Qiao, Chen Zhi had direct access to the PRC Ministry of State Security, the Ministry of Public Security, and the Xi family's base in Shenzhen Guesthouse. This indicates Prince Group is not merely a fraud base, but the CCP's black money hub overseas. The authenticity of this revelation cannot be verified, but former CCP agents have also alleged that Prince Group chairman Chen Zhi maintains close ties with senior officials in the PRC state security and public security systems, and cannot escape being a porter of some faction of red capital. Chen Zhi's downfall is not just an individual collapse, it may be a sign that one of the CCP's red money laundering webs has finally leaked. The pig butchering empire. As Xing Shui mentioned, pig butchering scams indeed made Prince Group pots of money. Behind this glossy corporate empire lies a shockingly dark side. In Cambodia, Prince Group set up at least 10 parks. These places are encircled by high walls and barbed wire, and inside are workers who were lured or trafficked there. They thought they came for jobs, but their workplace is called a fraud factory. From then on, they became veritable modern slaves. Passports confiscated, phones monitored, personal freedom restricted, they were forced into scamming. The scale of crime is staggering. The parks maintain phone farms. Just 2 parks had 1,250 phones controlling 76,000 fake accounts. These people lived in prisons in all but name, forced to stare at screens every day, performing love and friendship cons, building fake trust with victims, and luring them into huge investments. Victims spanned the US, Europe, and around the world. Daily scam income could reach $30 million. What if workers refused to obey? They were beaten. According to filings in the New York court indictment, Chen Zhi gave the order, "You can beat them, but do not beat them to death." U.S. Assistant Attorney General John Eisenberg described the criminal empire as built upon human suffering. To launder the massive black money, Prince Group used its subsidiaries and offshore affiliates to conduct large-scale laundering operations. Chen Zhi knew all too well the principle that money makes the devil turn millstones. He was exposed as keeping a precise bribery ledger, recording each payment to public officials. Through systematic bribery of Cambodian officials, he ensured his fraud industry ran unimpeded under the very noses of Cambodian police. For years, Prince Group ran roughshod, and was ultimately singled out by the US government as one of Asia's largest transnational criminal groups. The rise of Chen Zhi. Next, let's get to know this business prodigy from Fujian, Chen Zhi. Why call him a prodigy? Chen Zhi registered a fund management firm in Singapore called DW Capital Holdings. His own website introduces him like this: a young business prodigy. Already in the 1980s, he assisted his father in running the family business in Shenzhen. Chen Zhi was born in Lianjiang County, Fuzhou, Fujian. What family business did his father run? Nothing turns up online. Villagers interviewed said he dropped out after junior high and opened an internet cafe. No one mentioned his father's trade. Yet public records list Chen's birth as December 1987. In other words, when he was helping his businessman father, in the 1980s, he was under 3 years old. If so, he truly deserves the title, business prodigy. In 2011, at age 24, Chen Zhi went to Cambodia to speculate on land. 4 years later he founded Prince Group. 3 years after that, he spent $250,000 to obtain Cambodian citizenship. He now holds citizenship in Cambodia, Vanuatu, and Cyprus. The next year, in 2015, Prince Group burst onto the scene. In just a few years, his companies mushroomed as if on cheat mode, business lines from real estate to finance, including Prince Bank, from tourism to hotels, casinos, and retail supermarkets. The Prince brand is ubiquitous on the streets of Cambodia, making the group one of the country's largest conglomerates. Not only that, Prince Group expanded to more than 30 countries and regions. This September, Habanos SA, the world's largest Cuban cigar brand operator, submitted a new shareholder structure to Gothenburg police in Sweden, showing the company was effectively indirectly controlled by Prince Group. Unexpectedly, this business prodigy also took an interest in politics. Since 2017, Chen Zhi has served as an advisor to multiple core Cambodian leaders, building deep ties, including then Prime Minister Hun Sen, and accompanied them on numerous foreign trips. In 2023, after Hun Sen stepped down, Chen Zhi served as an advisor to Hun Sen's son, Hun Manet. Because Cambodia is also a communist country, like North Korea, the successor is chosen as one's own son. On July 20, 2020, Chen Zhi received Cambodia's highest honor, the Akna title, calling himself Duke Chen Zhi, basking in glory. In 2021, he won a Stevie International Business Award for Entrepreneur of the Year, and he established the Prince Foundation, engaging in high-profile charity. At that time, Chen Zhi was a government insider, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. By status and by political business ties, he was a distinguished guest in Cambodia's power arena. How could a kid from Fujian, with little resume or background, thrive so spectacularly in a communist country like Cambodia? Why did the long-ruling Hun Sen family trust him so much? His rise was always a mystery, but now the mystery has been revealed by the U.S. court indictment. He is not just a businessman, he is Beijing's man. Cambodia granted him face on China's behalf. The reason his business empire expanded so quickly is that China's Ministry of Public Security and Ministry of State Security opened green lights and provided funding. Chen Zhi's role was to carve out turf in Cambodia, cultivate connections, and pave intelligence and influence networks for the CCP. From a small Fujian trader to a Cambodian duke, that shiny medal looked like a Cambodian honor, but in truth it resembled a mission delivered from Beijing. A former CCP agent exposes, commerce feeds intelligence. The Prince Group, led by Chen Zhi, appears to be a corporate empire. In the shadows, it is one of the CCP's most important agents for covert operations in Cambodia and across Southeast Asia. This was confirmed by revelations from a former CCP agent using the pseudonym Eric. Eric disclosed on X that Prince Group chairman Chen Zhi maintains close ties with senior officials of China's state security and public security apparatus. He said the long-time telecom fraud and labor enslavement operations of Prince Group were not targets for CCP crackdowns but partners in deep collusion. Under the banner of commerce feeding intelligence, Prince Group not only funded CCP covert operations but also laid hidden overseas channels for infiltration, suppression, and money laundering. Put bluntly, Prince Group is the PRC state security's white glove in Southeast Asia. As a former agent, Eric personally witnessed events beginning with a mysterious building in Phnom Penh, a private club called Yunxian Pavilion. Lights for secret meetings burned there from late night until early morning. Eric recalls one night when political security officials from Beijing and Chongqing held a secret meeting there to discuss how to deal with exiled cartoonist rebel Pepper, Wang Liming. The entire operation was handled by Prince Group, their cars, their staff shuttled people, and they provided the hospitality. Eric vividly remembers the scene: gold-cushioned sofas, fine tea sets, koi gliding quietly in the tank. Chen Zhi, in a white shirt, smiling deferentially, leaned in to speak softly to a Ministry of Public Security senior addressed as Brother Long, full of flattery, hoping the ministry would make some accommodation for his affairs. At that moment Eric realized Prince Group was not merely cooperating with the CCP, it was part of it. That night, Yunxian Pavilion was not just a club, it resembled a temporary intelligence center. Another seemingly trivial matter cemented Eric's conviction. There was an internal theft in Prince Group. Hundreds of thousands of Thai baht went missing. Normally this would be an internal dispute at most, but the manager was terrified and repeatedly begged Eric not to tell Brother Long, the top security boss. What did this money have to do with secret police? Why would a public security grandee go after a company thief? Eric wondered, yet he still reported truthfully. Soon, Brother Long ordered, "Investigate immediately." The scale of the response was nothing like handling internal finances, it looked like protecting some higher-level security secret. Eric then realized this was no simple matter. The money, the staff, and every line of business at Prince Group were already deeply bound into the CCP's security system. This was not a normal company but a frontline outpost of a red spy network. Eric stated he holds ample, reliable evidence, bank transfer records, internal hiring forms, lease copies, etc., some of which have been anonymously released, each bearing the stamp of Prince Group, sufficient to prove his revelation's authenticity. He added that the CCP's intelligence system consistently follows the principle of commerce feeds intelligence, business and espionage mutually benefit, using commercial activity to fund and cover intelligence work. The very purpose of Prince Group's existence is to provide full-spectrum support for CCP covert operations under a commercial shell, from funds and manpower to transport, covering everything. Chen Zhi's Prince Group is essentially the spy system's treasury and logistics base. This black hand of state security wears gilded Phnom Penh clothing while doing the filthiest deeds. Colluding with the CCP, stepping on U.S. China red lines. The U.S. also accuses Prince Group of working with the CCP's United Front apparatus, perhaps the direct fuse for the group's downfall. On the tranquil island nation of Palau in the western Pacific, sunlight sparkles on blue seas, yet who would think this paradise had become a shadow frontline between CCP forces and the U.S. military? The same Cambodian Duke, Chen Zhi, came not only to invest in resorts, but to scout and lay out for the CCP, planning a red infiltration under a commercial facade and an intelligence corps. According to a U.S. Treasury notice, Prince Group, through its Shell Grand Legend, engaged in predatory investments in Palau and extended fraud operations to the region. Grand Legend's Palau address was registered under the Palau Hotel owned by Chinese Palauan Rose Wang, Wang Guodan, and all of Grand Legend's administrative affairs in Palau were managed by Wang. Hotel owner Rose Wang is not only Chen Zhi's partner but also vice chair of the Palau Overseas Chinese Association. The U.S. government identifies such overseas Chinese associations as informal CCP diplomatic outposts in Pacific Island nations, United Front periphery organizations that package political penetration as cultural exchange. Reports note that in 2019 Rose Wang attended CCP celebrations in Beijing's Great Hall of the People as an outstanding overseas Chinese representative. The notice disclosed that under Wang's brokerage, Chen Zhi's Prince Group aggressively snapped up land in Palau, mostly clustered near key U.S. military infrastructure, Koror Port, Palau International Airport, and radar stations. The biggest investment saw Chen acquire Njeribila's island under a 99-year lease to build a luxury resort, with funding sourced from Prince Group's scam proceeds. More serious is the island's sensitive location, right by a newly built U.S. Coastal Watch station. Another affiliated company of Prince Group developed land near the airport, traditionally used for U.S. military exercises. Palau is a crucial reconnaissance node for the U.S. on the second island chain, serving to limit PLA expansion in the Western Pacific. U.S. airport and radar facilities on the island are vital for monitoring air-sea domains. That Chen Zhi would dare move Earth on the god's head inevitably prompts U.S. suspicions that Prince Group's land grabs were to help the CCP monitor the U.S. military up close and gather intelligence. In addition, a Pacific economics think tank warned in a report this March that some transnational criminal groups closely tied to the CCP were registering companies in Palau under the guise of luxury resort and land development, but actually conducting money laundering, gambling, and fraud. It named Chen Zhi's Prince Group. Chen Zhi's rise relied on red capital, his fall rips away the fig leaf of commerce-feeding intelligence. In the CCP's authoritarian system, there is no standalone Chen Zhi. Any businessman able to run rampant overseas must have systemic backing. But when the winds change, all CCP protection can vanish overnight. Now, he has gone from Cambodian Duke to international fugitive, his Prince Group from Belt and Road model to a factory of transnational slavery held to account.